There's no man at the end of the rainbow. There's no like, oh, the grand prize for hating all women is I get a man.
Right.
Also, some fucking prize. And trade in my girls for that.
Podcast is a Dear Media production.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
I forgot what day it was.
My favorite holiday from my 20s. Just an excuse to binge drink margaritas.
I don't even think I thought about it in my 20s. I was just like, every day was Cinco de Mayo.
I would take off work. I told you this before. I took a half day. I was the first person at this party. Like, no one was there. I was like, I guess I'm here. It would turn into like a street party. I was the first person there at 1 p.m. Took a half day.
You were like, I don't care if anybody's here. I'm starting the party.
It was like a giant restaurant in Buckhead in Atlanta called Rio Grande. And like it picked up at like 4 or 5, but people worked that day. I was like, no, it's a holiday. I got to be there at 1 for lunch.
God, your
They're
20s
setting
were so
up.
good.
The DJ's not even there yet. I used to fuck with Cinco de Mayo so hard.
You know what I was thinking? Because I'm throwing Rayna Palooza and I've been like really planning my birthday party.
Yeah.
And like I'm out to all these vendors and I'm going to really throw like Summer House is my inspo for it, obviously. So I'm going to do like a water slide. I'm doing face jewels and tattoos with glitter.
I'm so excited.
And I think I'm going to have this company do like specialty drinks, a DJ, all this stuff. But one of the things as I'm talking to the vendors, they're like, what time do you want us to start? And I'm like, you have to like anticipate people won't come for like hours after you start a party, but not this party because everybody's staying at the houses with us.
Totally. The party starts.
The party
I'm
starts.
going to be banging on doors. Party started.
Like party starts.
These vendors are getting paid by the hour. Get your ass down there.
You're the muffle.
I'm going to have a bell. No, give me a megaphone. I'm going to run that house.
I'm going to give you a cowbell. You have to go to both houses.
No, megaphone.
The people that obviously they charge by the hour, everybody does. So the people that are doing the face jewels and the glitter tattoos, like, so the theme is Rayna Palooza, which is Coachella themed, basically, and festival. And I want everybody to like
it's
have
funny
their
that you
face
didn't say
bejeweled.
Lollapalooza. You said another festival. It's not Raynachella. It's Coachella inspired. Fuck you, Lollapalooza.
Raynachella. Raynachella didn't flow off the tongue like that.
Like okay, sorry.
Anyway, so I want everybody to like have help with their costumes. So I want the face glitter and the jewels and stuff. But like I need to give them a start time, and people can't be rolling in 3 hours after the party
Rayna,
starts.
I will have my megaphone. No one's at the face jewel station. Face jewel girl is bored. Someone better go visit the face jewel station. Running it like the Navy. I literally can't wait. It is like my vacation. Like I told you this, like my fiance and I, this is like one of our vacations. Like he's taken off work for it.
Everybody is.
I mean, yeah, because it's like we're not really doing that a big vacation this summer.
You have enough going on this year, okay?
I know the tour, the wedding, all the things. So I'm just like, he's never been to the Hamptons. I'm like, I'm just so excited.
It's weird. I'm realizing like because we have so many West Coast friends now, and he's from Boston. Like the Hamptons, if you don't live in New York, people have not been there.
Totally.
Like I don't think it's like a place people from Boston are like rushing up to.
Well, they'll go to the Cape.
Yeah. Everywhere else but that.
Right.
So anyways, people will be on site. And I'm really reaching out to a lot of people. If you want to give me free stuff for this birthday party, if you want to be a vendor, please don't be shy. Yeah. Rayna.Greenberg on Instagram. Reach out. Offer me caviar and alcohol and entertainment, a clown, a magician, whatever you want. Okay. Puppies.
Okay. And if it goes well, you can do my wedding.
Exactly. We will advertise you on this. My vendor list. Okay, let's thank some of our partners. Thanks to Article, get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more at article.com/GGE. And BetterHelp, get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/GGE. And finally, Skims, get the Skims Ultimate Bra Collection and more at skims.com/GGE.
And thank you to Aura Frames. Get $35 off and free shipping on the Carver matte frame at auraframes.com with code GGE.
Okay, so this weekend is Mother's Day. And we have the perfect gift for the moms in your life. Obviously, it's sex toys.
Go off, mama.
We have a sexual wellness company. It's called Vibes Only, and it is a premium line of pleasure products. And for Mother's Day, we're doing 2 different offers for you guys. So first, we're doing $15 off our massage oil candle. It's vanilla santal scented. It is so luxurious. Or you can get a free juiced up lube when you buy any 2 vibrators that we sell. So get one for you. Get one for mom and get her a free lube. Our lube is truly just the best that there is. It is so silky and smooth. And you can get that with any pairing of the toys. Obviously, you guys know that the packaging that we do at Vibes Only is so gorgeous. So it is really the perfect gift.
Yes, because mom deserves to come first. Literally. You guys can go to vibesonly.com and shop the sale and give mom the gift that keeps on giving.
So I've started, this is so embarrassing. I've started meal prepping.
Yeah.
And it feels very masculine to me. Like it feels very like, gotta get my macros, bro.
Okay.
But I've really been enjoying it. I got served this TikTok and it basically was like one of the worst things that you can put in your body from the grocery store is like pre-processed salad dressings. So I was like, oh, I love to like fuck around with a dip or a dressing. So I've been making dressings every week. So we were talking about Caesar dressing just now. I'm going to make a green goddess today.
Oh, I love a green goddess.
I made like a dill herb last week.
If you have extra dressing, I'll take that dressing.
I would love to make you some dressing. I do not understand how to batch things properly.
Totally.
I always make 4 times the amount of food I need.
Well, dressing. I mean, it's tough to make a little bit of dressing.
Uh-huh.
Like my mom, we grew up, my mom would always, I mean, not my early childhood years, but then she really started, my parents got way more into their health and she always made dressing. Like we never had store-bought dress. Like she always had a big thing of homemade Cindy's dressing.
That's nice. Not
Yeah.
a Pittsburgh family. Went to the Giant Eagle.
But I'm saying
and
she made a
got crap.
lot.
A ton.
Yeah.
Well, there's 4 of you.
Exactly that. So you got to have a ton of dressing on
Little body. What am I
on
gonna do?
hand.
I use that mini blender, which I love.
Okay.
So mini blender is a great hack. And also I use yogurt on all my dressings and just save some cows. But I've been meal prepping a lot and I've really been enjoying it. I've never really lived a life where I open my fridge and there's food in it.
Really?
Yeah, never.
Okay.
Like I just get hungry, I go to the grocery store, or like I take a walk and I grab a snack. Like I'm not like I haven't lived with a man in years. Like I don't need to like stock the fridge for somebody.
Yeah.
Do you like cook and have a bunch of food? Like I think you cook dinner every night and that's your meal for the night, but you don't have like a bunch of stuff. Like I'm gonna let you finish in a second. I've been making like a tuna salad, a chicken salad, just so that I have like stuff to graze on. I'm eating a lot of protein these days, so
Yeah.
just stuff to graze on all day, every day. Do you have that?
I always have my fresh fruit. That's how I start the day. I always have eggs, cheese, and butter. But we cook a lot of nights. I mean, we really only do takeout like probably 3 times a month. But then we cook or we go out to dinner. So we cook 3 to 4 nights a week. But I used to cook dinner for myself and then have the leftovers for lunch the next day. So those days are over.
You really have not brought in a bolognese pasta for lunch
I
in a
know.
while.
And I'm probably not eating as many calories. Like I'm just kind of grazing for lunch. I'll have like nuts. Like I probably need to eat more. Like, I'm not a forget to eat kind of girl, but I'm like, I used to sit down with a pasta.
I told you have a higher natural level of GLP-1 than the average person. I don't know how you're doing it.
Well, you age and you do need less food.
Well, you have always been like a listen to your body. When I'm not hungry, I stop eating.
Yeah, in recent years, but yeah.
I've really been.
But I like having a full
enjoying it.
fridge. We got beers in the fridge. We got Topo Chicos in the fridge. We talked about getting a whole Topo Chico fridge.
What does that mean?
Like a little mini fridge for our Topo Chicos. We're big Topo
You're
Chico.
sucking down that much Topo?
We do drink a lot of Topo Chico.
A whole TC fridge.
I just thought it'd be so cute.
It is cute.
Like, so if they're listening, you guys have fridges.
Wait, what's
a
the
branded
little
fridge.
What's the cute one that you wanted that we were gonna get for the studio?
like a
It's
smeg.
a smag.
Yeah, they're expensive.
They're very expensive.
Smeg if you're listening.
How much stuff can we get for free? Anyways, that's how I'm living. I'm really enjoying it. I've never
Yeah.
had food in the fridge.
You're
ever.
domestic. You're being domestic.
I'm dating myself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, but I'm dating myself, so I have food in the fridge. It's great.
I know. I like to have a full fridge. It feels very adult.
So, and nothing zens me out like cooking.
I did something this morning I've never done. I don't even know how to start the story. At 7:00 this morning, I woke us both up because I screamed out loud from a dream. What? Had a dream I was being chased and screamed out loud. Ah! Not a sexy scream. My Beyonce impersonator. Ah!
So embarrassing.
Woke myself up. Woke him up. He looked distraught. He looked so upset.
I
Like
would be
what?
so
he just
upset.
upset for me. Like what just happened?
Oh, I would be upset for me.
No, he was so upset. He like held me. I was like, oh
What?
my God. I don't like talk in my sleep or I have like night terrors or anything. Like I have a friend that like has like night terrors. It's awful. And she'll like wake up and she'll scream and she'll throw stuff. She doesn't really know what she's doing. Like in my dream, I can't scream. Don't you have those dreams? You're like being chased or something terrible is happening. You can't scream because you're like kind of in that weird I think I was about to wake up anyway, naturally, and I was able to scream out.
Yeah, I mean, I will wake up because I couldn't scream, and I'll have to like talk to myself and be like, "You're safe, everything's fine."
That was the moment, but it came out. Woke myself up, woke him up.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Have you ever woken yourself up farting?
No, that's exclusive to you.
Once a year or something, and I'm like, oh, thank God, no one's here. You know,
I can't stop thinking about him being woken up.
I
like,
hope this is not. I really hope this is not a pattern for you because I dated somebody who had night terrors, and he would wake me up and say the craziest
stuff.
shit. He would be like eyes open, like maybe he was just fucking with me. My ex shook me awake one night, and he was like, "The little man," and I was like, "What little man?" And he was like, "In your hand," and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "The little man in your hand," screaming at me. It was crazy. He was a big guy, so it was kind of crazy.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Not the little man in your hand.
little man in your hand.
He just wants a hand job.
Yeah. He's like, actually, put him in your mouth.
So yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. That's never. It was a weird moment.
Do you feel like you're under a lot of stress?
Not really. I mean, I was thinking about some things before I went to sleep. It was all kind of tied in, I guess. No,
What'd you watch before you went to sleep?
Paradise.
Oh, you're watching Paradise.
We're watching Paradise, but I read a little bit of The Wedding People.
Okay.
I was thinking about some wedding stuff, some bachelorette stuff, thinking of things I wanted to plan. I was having kind of like a bad dream correlated to that. And then I was on this bridge at this hotel, and this man started chasing me. And that's when I was like, ah! Like, anyway, so that was my morning.
I was wondering what you went to sleep thinking about because I'm watching Severance. So that was like what I went to sleep.
Yeah.
I think I gave you a spoiler by accident. Maybe not.
It's okay.
You finished Severance, the first season, what, a week ago?
2 nights ago.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you remember, and then you got to start the second season,
Yeah.
which you're so lucky. I watched that show years ago.
Crazy.
And I've just been waiting. I don't remember anything from that show.
Well, never. When there's years between seasons, like I always have to do a refresh.
That show is so slow moving and so weird. I mean, I love it, and I'm gonna stick it out. But that's what I watched before bed. I tend to not like to watch stuff that's so serious before bed.
Severance is not before bed.
Yeah.
So I did watch the season 1 finale, which obviously is such a great hour of television. You've said this before, and it was weird right before bed. My dreams, this was Sunday night, weren't nightmares, but they weren't not nightmares. Like they weren't like yell out, like scream out in the night, but they were just fucked up and weird. Mm-hmm. So
I hope this doesn't become a pattern for you guys.
I know. I hope not either.
Maybe you guys are getting some weird role play or stuff about it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you had something you want to talk about today?
This thing came across my own desk, and it is very crazy. So I learned about this through you. So on Spotify, there's day lists.
Yeah.
You guys might not know about that, or you
Really?
might be
You
like,
don't?
yeah, obviously everybody knows about that.
Okay.
But Spotify will put together these playlists for you, and they name them crazy stuff. And
They're getting crazier.
they are getting crazier. And it goes by, I guess, what you listen to a lot.
Yeah.
And so I started listening to music the minute I wake up. I just I connect it to my Alexa. I go get coffee in the morning, and I just listen to music. And a lot of what I listen to in the morning is Noah Kahn type vibes. Benson Boone and somebody named Mark Amber, who I like a lot. But that's the vibe.
Yeah.
Is just kind of folksy kind of music.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a huge mix of music on my phone. Every genre that exists.
Yeah.
And I guess I listen to country sometimes. I didn't really think I was this big of a fan.
It really does show you who you are, your day list.
I didn't know who I was until I read these day lists. Okay, so I'm going to start with a pattern that emerged. Coastal Cowgirl granola vibes Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
Happy Folk granola vibes Wednesday afternoon. Easy Country sweet tea Saturday. Backwoods pickup truck Sunday evening.
Backwoods pickup truck. It's a horror movie.
Coastal Cowgirl folk Wednesday afternoon. Teen pop Western Friday morning.
They're chaotic. These are Gen Zs writing these.
I'm who comes up with these? And I don't listen to that much country music. I love it, but it's not it's not a personality trait of mine.
I know.
Okay, so then it takes a turn for the worse.
Yeah.
Seclusion electric Monday morning. Bad mood sleep Friday afternoon. Sad heartbroken Tuesday morning.
No.
Heartbroken sad Thursday afternoon.
No.
Am I that sad? I was am I that sad?
Okay, let me ask you this. I have a theory. I swear it's just the music they're trying to promote. Do you always feel like it's the same shit? It's always the same 10 songs.
Oh, it's always the same 10 songs.
Yeah, they know. I'll read mine, but they know I listen to rap and R&B and hip hop a lot, and they don't serve me that on my day list. They're just trying to promote Noah Kahn and Benson Boone and all these artists. I feel like it's just whatever's popular. I wish my day list were more unique.
Well, mine have
And
gotten
deep
a little
cuts.
crazy because I've
Okay.
been like, I like
Sad?
one example right now.
Okay.
No, I think I just like now I've made a conscious effort to stop listening to so much stuff like that because
Yeah.
like maybe I make myself. And now everything's been like mid 2010s fraternity Tuesday afternoon.
Jason Derulo.
Mine's like
Pitbull.
Jungle Juice frat basement afternoon.
That's a perfect title. Then why are they not using Jungle Juice? They're like roofie vibes happy hour Thursday night.
Where does this come from? Like sad boy melancholy, but make
Yeah.
it cinematic Sunday dusk.
So I have one that's similar to you, happy folk coastal cowgirl Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, so they are doing coastal cowgirl for everybody.
Yeah, chill electronic deep house Friday afternoon.
Do you listen to house
No,
music?
no, chill house Ibiza Thursday evening.
you listen
It's
to
just like Kygo, I feel like I don't know. Pumpkin spice granola vibes Wednesday morning.
That's very Ashley coded.
Here's my personal favorite. Pink Pilates Princess Brat Summer Saturday evening.
That's
Those are
just
words.
That doesn't even- read it to me again.
Pink Pilates Princess Brat Summer Saturday evening. 7 words.
That's the longest title. It takes up the entire screen.
I know. Acceptance situationship Friday morning.
That should be mine. You were like, I'm sorry. I think you meant to send it to Rayna.
Acceptance situationship? What if you were dealing with a situationship? You're like, I'm attacked.
What songs are attached to this?
My boy only breaks his favorite toys, Taylor Swift, Risk, Gracie Adams, Dua Lipa, These Walls. Meanwhile, at the bottom, you see what I'm playing, and I'm playing
nothing like that.
Love in This Club, Usher and Jeezy. They're never serving me that. Okay, mountain music, overthinking Monday. It's so crazy when they tell you you're overthinking.
Mountain music.
Here's one from a while back, but I wish I would get more like this. Soul crushing scream morning. And that's like Miley,
That was your day-to-day.
Renee Rapp, G
Scream morning.
Flip. Yeah. Soul crushing. Sad scream Monday afternoon. I don't know what I was going through at this time. Here's a good one. Confidence baddie Wednesday evening. That's the shit I want. Chill rock alternative Sunday afternoon. But yet lately it's all been this like granola, coastal cowgirl. I just feel like it's the
Coastal
music they're
cowgirl.
trying to
Promote.
I also asked ChatGPT for just like funny day list names, and I was like, are these real or not? Okay. Emotional support blanket core Tuesday. Low key spiraling but still hydrated Friday.
These are amazing.
Dramatic main character breakdown Wednesday noon. Crying in the Trader Joe's parking lot Monday.
These
mix.
are so much better.
Delusional hope then sudden crash Thursday evening.
I love this.
And then there's 2 more. Playlist for staring at the ceiling. And then existential dread with jazz undertones Sunday brunch.
I love it. I have been seeing a lot of this like Pink Pilates Princess Brat. Like,
That's insane.
Vibe,
That's
yeah.
just words.
I know.
Anyways, I'm glad we did this
I feel like I'm
exercise.
also old
'cause
for that.
I just kept seeing heartbroken sad girl just day after day after day. And
Yeah.
I was like, am I depressed?
Yeah.
Does this play about us?
Yeah. Tell me I'm a baddie. Okay, guys. Well, we have such a fun interview for you today, and we can't wait to get into it. But we're just going to tell you about a few of our partners.
All right, you guys know that I am obsessed with home decor and decorating my house, and you always ask me to give you some tips and tricks. Article, that's your tip and trick. Article makes it effortless to create a stylish, long-lasting home at an unbeatable price. So I really gravitated towards their more coastal type of designs, but they have mid-century modern, Scandi-inspired pieces. They have stuff that looks a little more industrial, and they have a thoughtful design approach to everything. And the quality is fantastic. There's so much to choose from. And right now, I think a really good time to decorate your outdoor patio. So I always think like,
love
what's
it.
an area I could upgrade? And I've been like searching for an outdoor patio set, and I love this table with these 2 long benches. So it's Lubeck, the Lubek outdoor dining set in a Tuscan brown. They have a couple colors of everything. I also like the other color they do, which is a Byron gray, and it's just so chic, and all of their designs are so beautiful. And if you go online to their site, they'll show you how to style everything and how other customers have styled it, because I think some people just get overwhelmed and intimidated by just decorating a room in general, because I think that interior design can be really intimidating if it isn't your whole personality like mine. Everything is consistently high quality. There's meticulous packaging, and the shipping is really fast and affordable. The assembly is great. I really loved the whole delivery experience, start to finish. They're very communicative, and they have a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. So you can shop with confidence. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/GGE, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout.
Okay, Aura Frames Mother's Day this Sunday.
Ugh,
if you guys
perfect.
are listening, I love this so much. So I got these frames for family members for Christmas, and I got my brother and my sister-in-law one, and it was just so easy to set up. I just don't want you guys to be like intimidated by this. There are these digital photo frames named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter, and they're just really like a perfect gift. And I set it up in like gift mode, and I was able to upload my own photos, and then they're uploading their own photos in. So it's nice that you can just kind of put some of your own in there. You don't have to, but I think that's a nice way to start. And it's just, I can't stress how easy it is. So this is just going to be great. They have unlimited storage. You can share as many photos as you want straight from your phone to the Aura frame if you're going to get it for mom. So this is just great for a family member, especially if they live far away. And I think it's fun because you can put photos on it from afar. So they don't even know what's coming, you know, like especially if your mom lives far away, you can load some photos onto the frame and then she can add her own. It really is so, so wonderful. It was featured in 495 gift guides last year. Again, the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter. And it's just really great. Your mom is going to love it, or whoever. A great gift for anybody, anytime. But again, Mother's Day is coming up this Sunday. Easy to set up, like I mentioned, free unlimited storage. The packaging is gorgeous. Private, of course, that's important. Smart photo cropping. It just all makes it like really, really easy and intuitive. And Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off, plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver mat frame. That's auraframes.com, promo code GGE. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, guys, we are very excited to welcome our special guest today. She is a content creator and a viral sensation known for her unapologetic takedowns of misogyny and fierce advocacy for women. She has been named Adweek's 2022 Digital and Tech Creator of the Year, Meta's Creator of Tomorrow, and one of Time Magazine's Next Generation Leaders, and one of Forbes' top creators. Oh my God, you're so impressive. She is the host of the Comment Section podcast and the author of Loud, Except Nothing Less Than the Life You Deserve. Please welcome to the show, Drew Afualo.
Ooh, I feel like Daenerys Targaryen. I got so many names in front of my name. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, so happy to have you here. You're a big like fantasy girly, not sexual fantasy, but
I do love a fantasy.
Tell
I
us
do
all your
love a
fantasies.
like a fantasy novel. Love.
What are you into now?
Right now, I was reading the Flesh and Fire series.
Okay.
I was reading those. They were really good, but then they threw in a pregnancy trope, and I hate those. So I said, DNF. I'll revisit her in a little bit.
And you're also an ACOTAR girly?
Yeah, I have read the ACOTAR books.
So
yes.
I was like scrolling her TikTok and her and her fiance dressed up as Nessa.
Nesta and Cassian.
That's hot.
Yeah. Well, they kept telling, I will say, I had no idea about those books. I had never read them before. And then the internet kept telling me that our relationship reminded them of that one. So
Really?
then I was like, I thought I'd feed the book talk girls for
Yeah.
Halloween.
Totally.
So that couple doesn't really get big in the series until book 4.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little more
She's the
of a deep
sister.
cut.
Well,
Okay.
she's the sister of like the main character, the protagonist, if you will.
This is not my part
You
of the
got to get
internet.
into it, girl.
I know.
It's fun.
Those ACOTAR books, I'm like, that is a commitment. I've never seen books this big.
Once you're into it, it doesn't feel that long though, which is nice. But the guy more so looks exactly like my fiance.
Okay, I love
the girl
that.
doesn't look anything like me, but she's just mean like me. So they're like handsome
super
guy,
mean.
really mean girl.
Yes.
Perfect.
Can I ask what the pregnancy trope is that you don't like?
Oh yeah, she found out she was pregnant, but right before the big battle. So they
Okay.
like basically she's sidelined for the fight, which I fucking hate.
Okay, hate it
I was
too.
like, hate it. She can have babies later, hate it. So that's just my preference. So.
Okay. I love those books. My problem with it is that the main character is like 20 years old. And
I hate that too.
I'm just like, I don't want to masturbate to a 20-year-old. It just feels like inappropriate. I'm almost 40.
Every time I read it, I'm always like, well, that's me. Every time I'm reading the main girl, I'm like, well, that's me. Even if they say like pale, blue eyes, tiny waif, I'm like, me, literally me. Literally me. I just picture myself the whole time.
I wasn't sure. You're tall, and I wasn't sure. So we asked what kind of questions people have for you,
Yeah.
and one of the questions was, what kind of advice do you have for like tall girlies on like fashion? And I was like, oh, they must mean for Ashley. I wasn't sure
yeah.
how tall you were.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm 6 feet
You
tall.
must get this all the time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Every time they see me, they're like, oh, my God, you are tall. I do tell people quite often, though, I'm a big girl. I'm like, I'm a big mama, you know what I mean?
How
You
tall
can
is
hear
your
me coming.
fiance?
6'4".
Okay.
Yeah, so
good for you.
I'm 6 feet.
Yeah.
so.
So we want to talk about, your background story, just a little bit how you got into what you're doing now and
Totally.
what inspired you to do it.
Yeah, so I was journalism and communications major in college, and then I wanted to work in journalism, but I more specifically wanted to do sports. My dad's a former NFL player.
Mm-hmm.
My dad didn't play football till he was in his 20s and then got drafted, and just because he was just that athletic. And so my dad's career in the NFL was short-lived. And so I knew I wanted to like be on camera. I knew I wanted to do like on camera reporting. I just thought sports was going to be like my thing because other news like would bore me. I tried doing like regular news. I tried doing feature. I did kind of like editorial a little bit, but I really wanted to do sports. So more specifically, I wanted to do long form narrative storytelling on athletes. Like I wanted to tell stories about them off the field, like what they like to do in their spare time, things that are not just centered around them being athletic. And so that's what I went to school for. Got my degrees in. And then when I graduated, it's really hard to get a job, like especially in sports and entertainment. It's very saturated. And especially here in LA, it's a very nepotism driven business. So I kind of just worked in PR for a bit, which was kind of funny because it's the enemy of journalism. I worked in the completely opposite field for a while, nowhere near sports. And then I just got a random resume pick to work for the NFL. So I did a bunch of interviews for that, got that gig. Did that job for like 10 months. And I thought that was like my dream job because I was like 23, I think at the time. So I was like, oh my God, this is it for me. Oh my God, everything's happening for me now. Like, I'm a big manifester. I love like speaking things into existence. So I knew I was going to work there when I was like 16 because I kept telling myself, that's where I'm headed. That's where I'm going. And I'm a Virgo, so I'm a big planner.
Okay, got it.
And so when I was working there, I really wasn't having the best time. I honestly was suffering so greatly mentally when I was working at that job, but it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And ironically, I was doing social media for them. So my job at that company was to target women. It was to like get women to engage more with social. And I had a whole bunch of like plans for it, but it's kind of hard to work in a really stifling environment. So I was really unhappy when I was working there. And then I was like kind of trying to figure out what I was going to do. Am I going to try to move teams? Am I going to switch sports all together? I was feeling very like, okay, clearly I'm not happy with this, but I'm not someone who leaves with no plan. So I have to I kept saying like, I am going to quit. I'm going to move on. But I just wasn't because I didn't have a plan and I had bills. Like I was like, I have things to do, pay for. I can't afford to just be jobless for whatever reason. And then they kind of did it for me. They fired me. And then when they fired me, 2 weeks later, COVID hit. And then everybody went home. Everybody's in lockdown. And then my fiance actually encouraged me to post on TikTok. Because at the time, TikTok was like really starting to take off.
Yeah.
Obviously, when COVID hit, it really took off. And then I started posting videos and at first I was just doing story times because that's what I used to do in college. I would like post myself ranting about shit that doesn't matter. You know, like when you're in your early 20s, everything irritates you and you're like, I have the most hot take on something.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm in my late 30s actually. And yes.
It's like everything is just the worst thing in the world and catastrophizing. So I was telling stories like how I did in the past. And then that kind of started catching a little bit. And then I did a video about my fiance when he was still my boyfriend at the time. And I talked about how he got me a gift for Valentine's Day, which was he paid for a year's worth of nail appointments like in advance. Well, it was 6 months and then 6 months later. But like he found my current nail tech, like told her she likes her nails like these shapes. She likes these colors. She likes these designs, whatever. Asked her if she could do it. And then paid her all up front and in cash with tip too, and then made my appointments for like 6 months. So that was one of the gifts he got me for Valentine's Day.
Love that.
Right, period. And then I talked about it in a TikTok, and that was the first one I ever got like views on. That was like the first TikTok I ever started getting views. And then shortly after that, I made a video about very specific red flags in men. Like someone said, what are some specific red flags in men you have? And so I made that video, and that was my first video to really take off. Like when that one took off, that was when I went like super viral.
Is that how like terrible men found their way onto your page?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nothing does it quite like that.
You're like, they found me.
Yeah, they found me. Well, it was like equal parts. It was like, and I'm 29, going to be 30 this year. So I grew up with the internet. I've been a voyeur on the internet for a while. Like I've been a consumer. I've been nothing more than a voyeur for a while. And then I had never in my life experienced hate like that in a way that felt so personal. Like and not to me, I mean to them. Like I must have really hit you if you came all the way over here to say some crazy shit to me.
Yeah, I'm a stranger.
But I thought it was funny. So I love to joke. I love to make fun of people. What are you talking about? So I thought we were all being silly and having fun. So I started making fun of them back. And that was when it was a really lawless time on TikTok for me. Like I wasn't verified. I didn't have followers. So I could go crazy. I could go in there and I was making 10, 12 videos a day. And I was saying the meanest shit I could possibly think of. And I'm really good at it. Like I can make fun of anyone.
You like roast battles.
Oh yeah, I can make fun of anyone, especially men. Yeah. And so I was just lighting them up like left and right. And then that's when I really started like growing because they started seeing me attack these men and laugh about it. And then they started sending me shit. Like they started being like, oh, have you seen this guy? Have you seen this guy?
Okay, do him next kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. So it's like they started taking a ticket at my deli counter, and then I was just like, number 2, like calling them to the front. So that's really how it started. Like they started
funny.
sourcing for me. So
You almost like it's a gift to not really have like a verification or a following.
Oh,
then,
yeah,
'cause
yeah, at
you
the
really
time.
can just get as crazy as you want.
Oh, it
'cause
was
you're like, no
perfect at
one's
the
gonna
time.
see this.
at the time, yeah, it was like the only person who's going to see it is the person I want to see it, which is the person who made that comment.
Totally.
That's the only person. I only need one view, and it's from that guy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. But
It's so interesting that you've become this like trailblazer for like women's rights and LGBTQ community and like so many things because you went to school to work in sports. And I think you have a similar story to a lot of people, which was like COVID started and I started making content on the internet. I didn't like go to school for this necessarily. It's
no,
just
not
I
really.
leaned in.
I got fired. I think that's the thing.
Well,
a lot
all
of
the
people
cool girls
got
get fired. There's a book coming out. These authors, they're writing a book called All the Cool Girls Get Fired. Every successful woman I know that's really blazed her own path, me included, Rayna included, has been fired. Like,
Yeah,
in
like
a fired
way.
in
A lot
big
of my
way.
best friends, like that, are huge on TikTok now, and they're content creators now. All of them got fired before they started doing this.
It's true.
I was like, you want to get big, you got to get fired. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
I think that like there's so few experiences in your life that are so extremely formative, and nothing like kicked me in the ass like getting like just fired, like fucking fired
Yeah,
in
same.
such a
But
big
It's
way.
a blessing.
Yeah,
I
I
want to ask
agree.
you about working in sports because
Sure.
I want to tread carefully. We need women in sports. Like it can't
Yeah,
just be
totally.
all men, but it's like you're talking about men for a living.
Yeah.
And you're talking about if you're football, a sport that women don't really play.
Yeah.
So I've always thought that's interesting. Like you have these like powerful, badass women and they just talk about dudes for a
Yeah.
living and what
Yeah.
they're doing on a field of a sport that women don't play. Like, did that ever cross your mind? Like, you're like, I want to lift women up and I gotta talk about men for my job.
Yeah. I mean, it did cross my mind. It was more, I think in my head, I was like, there aren't enough women in this space, but there are a lot of women who watch football. Like
totally.
And football, I mean, American football is a made up sport. So technically speaking, women could have played, but like women can't do anything when men are around, obviously. Of course, they didn't include us in that. But I also think when it comes to football specifically, like when I was doing the interview process for that job, I did a lot of research on the job itself. This is probably one of the most Virgo things I've ever done, but I did a PowerPoint when I was doing my interview, and I was like showing them my PowerPoint on my laptop of like what I plan to do, why I plan to do it, that kind of thing.
Love this.
And when I was in my research, I saw that like and this is again at the time, it was like 60% or something of NFL package purchasers and viewers were women. 60% is a really high number. And it's because women spend money. Women buy shit.
Yep.
Men don't. Statistically and historically speaking, they don't. So, but women on social were only engaging with their content like 10, 20%. So that's why they brought me in. That's why they created the job in the first place for me, was because they wanted to target women. Not because they give a fuck if women watch football, but because women spend money. And women are consumers. That's what they are. And honestly, women determine what's popular. Women determine
Absolutely.
who succeeds. Women determine who gets on the charts. Women determine, even with football players, like if you think about something like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, right? The first game she ever appeared with him at, he sold out his jersey that night. They haven't sold. He's been in the league for a long time.
Oh, she put him on the map like
Yeah,
that.
so well, it's women watching.
Yeah.
Women
Yes.
are deciding. Women are like, okay, she's co-signing him, I'm co-signing him.
Absolutely.
So, and then they sell out Chiefs tickets all the time now because of someone like Taylor Swift. Obviously, they're the Chiefs too. That plays a role, but I mean, it's undeniable that women are very powerful. Like the female dollar is very powerful. So, I mean, I think in my head, what I was thinking was, I want to engage women in a way that makes them feel seen and validated in sports. Like not in a way that's like, I feel like sometimes with sports entities to engage women, they're like, make it pink. Make it
Totally.
pink, give it glitter. Girls are going to love that.
Yeah.
But I think that, which is true, some women do love pink and glitter. I think that's great. But I think it's almost like reducing them down to these
Yeah.
very menial boxes.
It's dated. Also.
Yeah, I think if you can talk to them like they're humans who like football, I think you can engage them. So in my head, I was thinking, I want to engage them in a way that they feel seen and heard and validated. And I'm honestly really thankful that they fired me, because then I got to do that on my own shit.
Hell yeah.
And I didn't have to give it
Yeah.
to them. So it worked out for me.
I think that's why people have like latched onto this like Taylor Swift conspiracy theory that the NFL has like hired her and brokered this relationship.
Oh, I
between her
agree. And I
Travis
wouldn't
Kelce.
be surprised if that was the case.
I mean, it would be smart, right?
They
I mean,
gotta
not
rebrand,
only
so.
women decide what's cool, and they also control the household spending. I mean, you think who decides like what a man's going to wear, what vacations we take, what restaurants do we
Yeah.
go to? I don't think all men are incompetent, and they make decisions too. But I think women are in control of like how we spend money in the
Absolutely.
household And if a man wants to buy season tickets to a football game and his wife says no, they're not doing it.
Okay, just going to take a quick break and we are going to get back into it.
And if you guys are watching on YouTube and you're thinking, wow, Rayna's boobs look so lifted up and separated and perfect, it's because I'm wearing Skims, you guys. It's their ultimate push-up bra. It's back. I always kind of avoid push-up bras because I find them to be really bulky and heavy with other companies, and they're just not that comfortable to wear. And I already have big boobs, but I love what Skims does. And they have the ultimate push-up bra in strapless and balconette. They have tons of colors, so many sizes. And it's super, super comfortable. So if you want something to like lift and separate, make your boobs look extra perky, it's going to be the Skims Ultimate Balconette Push-Up or strapless. And I'm always pretty much wearing a Skims bra. I love their Fits Everybody bras. Again, there's so many different sizing. I'm a 32D if you guys want to send me any gifts, you know. And the site is great for gifts for yourself or anybody else. And again, sizing very, very inclusive and tons of shades. So you can shop the Skims Ultimate Bra Collection and more at skims.com and Skims LA flagship on Sunset Boulevard. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you, select podcast in the survey, and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. And this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. So mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say they avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. And this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we want to encourage everybody to remove that stigma and take whatever steps that you need to be happy, healthy. I mean, I'm so impressed when I hear somebody saying, I've sought therapy, I've reached out to somebody who can help me work through these problems. And of course, it's important to talk to your friends and family, but there does come a point where they can't help you. That's not their job. And it's nice to turn to a trained professional, and I see a lot of strength in that. So whatever you need help for, whether it's relationship issues, figuring out what you want to do next in your career, or do I want to move to this new city, or you're just feeling that it's hard to set boundaries with other people, you feel anxiety, you want to sleep better. All these things therapy can help with. And BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapists from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. And you can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/GGE to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GGE.
Okay.
So you use a lot of words like internalized misogyny and
Yeah.
patriarchal conditioning.
Yeah.
And like, was that natural to you, or you were just like, I got on the job training from TikTok about how terrible these people are, and it made me want to learn?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was already like unpacked and understood by me.
Yeah.
But I also think doing this job has just, if anything, I think all it's done is solidified and made me more convicted in my beliefs more than anything. Unpacking internalized misogyny, everything, I think I did the majority of that in college. Everybody's born a pick-me, especially if you identify as a woman, and that's not our fault. It's just natural. It's what we do to assimilate. It's what we do to blend. I was a huge pick-me in high school. It's the same shit when, like, it's literally, I used to convince myself I hated the color pink. I don't. I love the color pink. But I just think now when I look back, I hated it because men hated it. Like, men think it's for girls. That's girly, whatever the fuck. Like, as if that's bad. So I was in my strongest pick-me phase, I would say, in high school, which is natural. And then I think when I got to college, that really shifted for me. As far as the verbiage of things like internalized misogyny, I think that just came with time. But also I, went to college and I took a lot of sociology courses. I took a lot of courses on things that helped me understand the world as a whole. And that's why sometimes I encourage people to go to secondary education if they can and they want to. Like, I just think it makes you a better person. I think knowledge like is almost like an exterminator of ignorance, which is a good thing. So it's good when we are well informed. It's a good thing. Beautiful.
Yeah. It's interesting because you talk about it in your book, which I really encourage people to read, and I really enjoyed reading
Thank
it.
you.
It's incredible.
But you talk about it how from an early age you had a feeling of like, I don't really care about men. But you also said I was a pick-me girl.
Yeah.
And I think caring about men is sort of what leads to being a pick-me and being this like kind of girl that's like, I'm not like other girls.
Yeah, I think it's a twofold. They can exist in the same body. I
Okay.
think it's one of those things that they can be contradictory but still exist. So I think it wasn't men. It's like it's male attention, right? So it wasn't specifically any man ever, I want him to like me. It was, I like these things, and I never really questioned why. So it was like, oh, I hate this thing, but I never really asked myself why. Now, when I'm older, I've been like, why did I hate that thing? oh, because men would tell me it was stupid and that's why. But I think I've joked about this before, but like even when I was a pick-me, the strongest thing in me was how quickly men irritated me. And I think part of that was because of my delusional confidence. But another part was like,
Can we circle back to that?
oh yeah. I've had what I like to describe as borderline delusional confidence since I was younger. Like you couldn't tell me shit. You still can't. But like when I was a kid, especially, you couldn't tell me anything. Like I just thought I was the most awesome person alive, which I still think now. And it's never been at the like detriment of others. It's always been like, I think I'm awesome. I think you're awesome.
Yeah.
That's always been my mentality about myself. So like when I was younger, I never really took a lot of stock or value in what I looked like. When I hit puberty, I loved makeup. I loved being a girly girl, that kind of stuff. But I never thought to myself, I'm going to do this because men like it. I would always do it because I liked it. But I never took superficial compliments like, you're so beautiful or you're so hot. I never took those to heart as much as I took things like, you're so smart, you're so funny.
You're so funny, yeah.
The things about me that I've always loved the most have never had anything to do with my looks, which is why I think when I was in the throes of my pick-me phase, if men would irritate me, that shit would wiggle inside me. I'd be like, hold on. Like it was almost like it would be like the Mask. Like he'd be like, and then he'd be evil. And then he'd be like, and then he'd be normal. That's how it felt for me. Because I feel like the pick me would flare up sometimes. And then if a man got a little too comfy, it would go away immediately. And I'd be like, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So I've always been really mean to men just because they fucking irritate me. Which I tell people, I'm like, I mean, obviously, you ever hung out with one? They're fucking awful.
Well, so let's talk about you being engaged to a man.
Sure.
Like, and I'm just curious about your dating life before that. How long have you been with your now fiance?
This year will be 8 years.
Oh, a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So in like early 20s.
Yeah, early mid 20s.
So how did he get in there?
I met him in high school.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so you've
at my
known him.
prime pick me face. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we met.
But you've like
That's-
evolved together. I just want to like hear
Yeah,
about
totally.
it, you know?
When we were in high school, we were friends in high school. It's a real enemies to lovers arc I like to jokingly describe. No, but we were really cool. We were close friends in high school. Went to different colleges, dated other people.
Did you date in high school?
In high school, no.
Oh, you just were friends. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, no. He asked me to prom his senior year, and I said no. So,
He's
Obviously.
6'4" and you said no.
well, he wasn't 6'4" at the time, and also I'm just kidding. He was 6'2" at the time.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I said no.
I feel like I didn't care that much about height in high school. I feel like I didn't become like a heightist.
Because you're 5 feet tall. What?
Yeah, but I
no
care
shit.
today. I care a lot
I was well aware of
too,
height
yeah.
because I've been tall my whole
grew up
life.
so
So.
I see what
insecure
you're saying.
about it.
Right. I didn't realize men being tall and that being hot to me until
All right.
Oh
now.
yeah. Well, in high school, my fiance is a very good looking man, and he was that good looking in high school. So he got tall and handsome and popular in high school.
But yeah,
no,
so you
yeah, but
went
that
to
just
different
didn't-
colleges
Yeah,
and-
that just had no effect on me and high school. And honestly, I think that's why he liked me, because my sister's a lesbian and I hate men. So in high school, we were the only two people that weren't swayed by him at all. Like he didn't move me at all.
Yeah.
And I think he liked that about me. I think he liked
Totally.
that his looks didn't affect me in any way, didn't make me treat him any differently. And he was annoying in high school, so there's that. Which he would agree with. And then we went to different colleges, dated other people, and then we reconnected when I graduated and moved back home. And he was like asking me to hang out, and I was like, for what? Because I tell this story a few times, but I jokingly, I tell the story jokingly, but it is not a joke. I was really mad at him for something I can't remember. But so I wasn't talking to him for like 2 years. And then he kept hitting me up constantly. And then I finally caved. And I was like, sure, we can go to lunch. And then joke's on me, I'm in love now, so there you go.
I mean, it's
He's
some of
marrying
the
me.
best dating advice. You could throw all dating advice out the window and just do nothing. Just avoid them for 2 years.
Nonchalance
make
speaks
them
to them
hunt you
very
down.
loudly.
I mean, I could literally leave all other dating advice on the floor. And just
Oh
do
yeah, I'm
that.
a real boomerang kind of girl.
I mean,
like
that's my fiance was in the DMs for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally. And then one day I was like, I guess I'm horny.
Yeah. That's how
There
you
you
get
go.
married. No, it really
Did he have to
is.
kind of wear you down a little bit, or?
Yeah, after a while, yeah.
Okay.
I was completely ignoring him, and so and we've talked about it now, and obviously we laugh about it now. But I've asked him like, what made you keep coming back? Because he was not starving for puss. Like he could get anybody. He's very
Right.
good looking, very charming, very smart, very capable. So like, and he's a very good person. Like he's always been a really
Yeah.
good person, very sweet person. He's just annoyingly handsome. Like who fucking?
Well, you both
who
are.
cares?
You're a very hot couple together.
Period. Thank you. But
Yeah.
I think even at the time, like I asked him that, like, what made you keep coming back? And he was like, I honestly don't know. Like, and he told me too, like, something told me that I would regret it for the rest of my life if I didn't like patch things up with you and like see you. And he's like, and now I know I was right. And I was like, all right, not too much. Relax.
Okay, I was right.
One time in 8 years. Okay, sure. Whatever.
We got a lot of questions about him though. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I
love.
mean, we said like, what do you guys want to know about them? People want to know like, how do you live at this intersection of I hate men, I see all this terrible behavior online, but I'm with a
with
man, I'm
one.
marrying a man. And by the way, Ashley and I make fun of men too, but we have like great fathers and brothers.
brothers, friends. and-
Most do. Most women who do hate men have great fathers, brothers, and men.
The bar is high.
Yeah,
also
most-
for who gets
most
to be
women do
around
have that.
us.
Yeah, so we do think there's like great men. Obviously, you found one, so did Ashley.
Yeah.
But like, how do you live at that sort of like intersection of the two?
I mean, I think it's a lot simpler than people think. I think people overcomplicate it. It's just, I'm not talking about you.
Amen.
But it doesn't change the inherent fact that men are evil. That is true. Like man as a whole is evil. Like just as an entity, a general idea. Men have inflicted violence and oppression on the world in ways that are irreparable. Like it's okay if we say that out loud. It's okay if we say that men are inherently evil. It's like, it's not all men, but for some reason, always a man. Every time something terrible happens, always a man, like 99% of the time. So I feel like it's a lot simpler than people may think. I don't hate my man, I hate most men. And for me, I think given what men have done to me personally, to people I love, and the world as a whole, if they all start guilty and have to work their way to innocent, it's not really a big deal to me. I feel very like convicted in that. It's very like, if you're not awful, prove it.
Yeah.
Quit talking about it and
Right.
fucking do it. Because the men who complain that they really hate hearing like, oh, what about all men? Oh, all men, all men. A lot of this, not a lot of action.
Well, I feel the same way. I think when people talk about white women
Yeah, it's the same
who
thing.
voted a certain way or have certain beliefs, and it's like, I want to be the best white woman I can be. But when you talk
There's
about
power
when
in
you
it,
talk
though.
about those white women,
Yeah.
it is not me. I
It's
don't
okay.
hold those beliefs, so I'm not offended by it.
Exactly.
The same way
It
like a
doesn't-
good man is not offended by
Absolutely.
the I hate men rhetoric. They're
Yeah.
like, that doesn't apply to me.
It's
I'm
a
doing
very
my
hit
best.
dogs holler kind of thing for me. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. That's how I feel. When people talk about like, and what's something I said I'm a straight woman, right? I'm a straight cis woman. When they talk about straight cis women, when trans people talk about them, how they can be very harmful towards trans women, it doesn't hit me because I know I'm not one of those. So when you're talking really loud and you're getting very upset at what I said, what did I say that upset you? And why? That's a question you should be unpacking in therapy. That's not a question you should be writing hate in my comments. Like, and also the men who argue with me about that, or even women, it's very rare that it's women, but anyone who argues with me about that, that's so harmful to say. I hate all men. That's so harmful to say. Every time they say that to me, if I really were to dig in, that person sucks ass every single time. 100% of the time, all the time. That person's awful. That person is awful 100% of the time, all the time. So like, what do you call it at that point? A pattern.
I think
So-
some of it is internalized misogyny, like you
Amen.
talk about.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, women. Listen, I think that like there's great men in
Internalized
the world,
racism, all
but-
the things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those things. And you are definitely one of the more outspoken people that I've like come across in terms of your book. You call people out by name. You do it
Yeah.
on Instagram and TikTok. And
Yeah.
I mean, you really stand up for like women's bodies and LGBTQ rights. And I think a lot of people want to feel more empowered to do that. And I mean, people say, I remember this girl came up to me one night. I was at Ashley's comedy show and she was like, I could never do what you girls do, but like, thank
every
you
day
for
we get
doing it.
messages
Like,
about
it was somebody who had a podcast and she was like, how do you feel brave enough to talk about politics and things like that? And I'm like, but that's what we've dedicated our lives to. So I guess I'm curious for you, like, how do you feel that bravery?
Seems like you've always been this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
That's
yeah.
kind of how I
like,
feel.
Yeah.
I just been like this.
Yeah,
But like
I
for
do
people
feel
that
way.
aren't, like I think there's people that are like, I want to feel like I can say something
True,
and be
true,
outspoken. So like you were born a certain way. Like how can other people like feel like that?
I get that question a lot too. Like, how do I
Yeah.
stand up for myself? How do I handle hate or criticism or whatever the same way that I do? I like to tell people all the time, I know that I am the exception to the rule. Cause like for a while I lived at a very like no fear. Like I had no fear as a child and a teen, and that's not a good thing. It is okay to have a healthy dose of fear, especially to protect yourself. So I know not everyone is like me. What I encourage people who are not like me, if they're trying to learn how to become more confident in their decisions and how they speak up for themselves, whatever it may be, I always encourage them to start small. A lot of times when people are very passive and they let things happen a lot, things like if they get your coffee order wrong, if they say your name wrong, you're just like, it's all right. That's where it starts. It starts at little things like that. If you start standing up for yourself and advocating for yourself in little ways like that, you start to build your own confidence because you're like, I matter. What I want matters. The things I like matter. Like my feelings matter. All of those things matter. When you start walking in the belief that they matter, even the most minuscule things like they said your name wrong, they called you the wrong name, they didn't say excuse me, they got your order wrong. Like when you start like standing up for yourself that way, I think naturally over time it starts to snowball into bigger decisions, like bigger ways that you can stand up for yourself. If you can just rip the Band-Aid and do something crazy like me, feel free. But I don't encourage that if that's not naturally who you are. I don't encourage that kind of cold plunge because it may backfire on you and then you won't know how to deal with it then. So I like to encourage them to start small most times. As far as being brave on the internet, I tell people all the time, like, if you want to be a content creator, because I do get questions like, how do I build a following? How do I do this? Do you care if you get hate? Don't do it. Like, if the answer is yes, don't do it. I tell people that all the time, and I say that with all the love in the world. This job is not for everyone. If you really hate people commenting on every single thing on your body and your face from your head to your toes and everything you say always and forever, then I wouldn't do this. This is the worst job ever. If you really hate that, don't do it. But if you don't hate that and you can do it, I would say to just make peace with it. Like someone is going to hate you. Someone is going to write something mean. Someone is going to say something awful. It's just a natural born fact. My friend Emily Mariko, are you guys familiar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got into her because of the salmon bowls, obviously.
Right. I love her. She's so great. I use her as an example when I answer this question a lot, where I say, like, Emily Mariko doesn't talk in her videos. Never. She never talks. She's, at this point, probably said a few words in some of her videos.
Wow.
But for the most part, she makes no noise. None at all. And she gets hate.
Yeah.
I walk into people's homes and swing on them. And if I were to be shocked that I got hate, I'd be a hypocrite.
Right.
So, like, my point being, it doesn't matter, does it? Like, it doesn't matter. If you're her and you're just completely fucking mute the entire time, they're still going to write hate.
Yeah.
If you're me, they're still going to write hate. So I encourage you to just do it. If you really want to do it, do it. Like, make content, do it. And nothing's really going to stop you. If you really want to do it and you feel like you have something important to say, something impactful to say, I think nothing's going to stop you. Not even hate. You know what I mean?
If no one's hating on you, you're not relevant.
Exactly, yeah.
If you're doing it right, you're triggering somebody. People even, as of late, hate on Beyonce. She was safe for so many years. Now it's just like people are doing it. It's like you can't escape it.
It's for no reason. Like it's just the nature of humans.
Totally.
Like it is what it is. But I'm someone who gets inspired by hate. Like I'm someone who, like, I crack it under my nose like those smelling salts, and I'm like, oh yes. Like that's what hate does to me. I know that's rare. I know not everybody's like me. That's okay.
Well, you have like a comedic appeal, obviously, and we're comedians. I'm a stand-up comedian, and comedians eat that shit up. Like, first of all, when you're new, you're like, I have a hater, I've made it. Like, people hate me, and then they just take it, and it does like fuel you.
Yeah, for real.
And it's like
that's
blessing
blood in the water to me.
to be able to take the hate and turn. I mean, I read the meanest DM I've ever gotten. I read it last week. The reel is blowing up of me reading the meanest shit some of this girl's ever said to me. I was like, let's clip it. And thank God. People are like, I'm following you now. I love this podcast. Like, people, it's just like,
oh yeah,
you're able to benefit from it.
Absolutely.
If you're
telling me, girl. my business stands on the shoulders of men who hate me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are pillars in my business. I am grateful. I am grateful to y'all.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I think you're going to laugh. But so does anybody ever say to you, like, well, shouldn't we, I can't even say it without laughing. It's so stupid. Shouldn't we coach men? Don't you ever want to, like, teach them how to be better? Like, what responsibility do you have to, like, teach men? And, like, are you just like, I don't want to teach them anything. I want to help women help each other.
Yeah. I mean, well, they didn't come out of my coochie, so it's not my fucking problem, is it? Like, it's not my problem to, you want me to train grown men to care about women? No. That's how I feel about it.
Right.
I truly feel like you're a grown up. Be a grown up, right? I feel like sometimes the misconception about my content is that it's to solely get them, like, oh, all you do is roast men. That's what you do is you roast. That's true. That's part of what I do. That is true. There's a greater message and a greater objective at play, though, which is I'm empowering women and anyone else they harm. Men harm not just women. It's not just women that they inflict harm on. If you really are an intersectional activist in any way, you'll know that there's many different intersections that they violently oppress. It's not just cis women, cis straight women specifically, that they harm with their content, with their fucking jokes, with all their bullshit that they put online. So my goal, I don't give a fuck about the men that I fuck up. I don't know if that's hard to hear. I don't care at all. I don't care about their feelings. I don't care about their livelihood. What the fuck? You think I care about what your life looks like after this? I don't care at all. What I care about is how people see me react to the shit you say online. I want them to see how I react to it, how I don't internalize it, and I keep going forward. That's what I want people to see. They are nothing more than a pawn in my very large game. They don't mean shit to me. Why would they? Like, why? And you know what's funny is a lot of these men attack me first or others. In
Right,
fact,
you
every single one
started
of them.
this shit.
Yeah, you started it, but you can't finish it. Right,
You
exactly.
came to my job.
Yeah, well, exactly. And it's always like, I've said this before too, it's insane to watch how quickly men develop empathy after they watch me eviscerate one. After they watch me fuck a dude up, all of a sudden they care about feelings. All of a sudden they care about, well, what about how he feels? I don't give a fuck how he feels.
Right.
It's funny because when they ask me, do you ever care about the men that like hurting their feelings? No. Because ask them if they cared about mine.
Totally.
Right, they don't, right? Okay, so why is it's all a joke when he says it to me, but when I joke back, all of a sudden I'm attacking him? Why is that? See, that's why it's like, you're right there. Keep going, unpack it, right? The reason why is because of I'm a woman and the way I look like. I'm not just any woman either. I'm a tall woman, I'm a thick woman, I'm not a Eurocentric beauty standard woman, and I'm indigenous on top of that. So all of these factors are playing a role in how they choose to disrespect me. Like, and I think that's another thing too, is we infantilize men. Like, we think like, oh, they just don't know any better. We're the same age. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you mean? In fact, most of the men I make fun of are older than me.
Right.
So like, what do you mean? Like, he's a baby that needs help, but I'm not. And I've said in a video before too, that women are forced to develop empathy from a very young age. We're forced to because that's the role and the boxes that we're shoved into when we're younger. Men get to decide if they want to develop empathy at a later time. If I want to be nice, I'll worry about it when I'm in my 20s. Like, they get to decide whether or not they give a fuck about other people. We don't have the choice.
Yeah.
So naturally speaking, no, I don't really give a fuck when men, like, to teach them, to instruct them. And then on a very superficial level, if anyone can give me just one example where speaking to a bigot in a nice way has changed their viewpoints, you go ahead and you let me know. If you guys ever find one, I'll hang my hat up forever. How's that? I'll fucking put my jersey in the rafters and I can retire.
Right. And also it's like, again, you're a grown up. And if you actually cared, about the harm that you've caused as a man, as a white man, the misogyny, all this, then you'd educate yourself. I mean, it's the same when you talk about race. It's like a white person being like, well, please educate me. And it's like, educate yourself.
Yeah,
you read a book.
Exactly.
You are an adult.
Emotional labor. It's put on women. It's put on people of color. It's put on gay people. It's put on trans people. It's the emotional labor and toll. Like, so in addition to the ignorance and the oppression I suffer, I also have to hold your hand while I explain to you why it's bad. Like, and also, do men listen to women who hate women?
So
like, if men
I
hate women, men listen to women? No, obviously not.
Totally.
So the men I'm talking to hate women. That's really at the very center of it. It's they hate us. They're attracted to us, but they don't like us and they don't love us. Like, they hate us and they want to subdue us. So I don't play that shit. So I always say, if you want to be talked to in a nice, gentle way and handled in a way that's like, hey, this is why you shouldn't say that, then I wouldn't attack me. I'd attack somebody else. I wouldn't attack because that's not how I handle it. So I think respect begets respect. If you don't give it to me, you're not getting it from me. It's pretty simple.
I knew you'd have a good answer to this. I knew your vibe wasn't going to be like, let's teach the men.
Well, the men need to be teaching each other.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's like not our job. And I think that,
Or
like,
die off. I don't give a fuck.
You could go.
Die off.
They might.
Don't procreate. Die off.
Well,
I don't
you
care.
could go both ways with this, right? If you're like,
Yeah.
I've identified this problem in men. So you could either coach men or coach women. And I think you talk about in your writing more of like, let's, as women, stop pitting each other against each other,
Yeah, absolutely.
competing with each other. And
Absolutely,
like, let's find a way to have confidence and also not rip each other down.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a guest on, Elise Lunan, and she, like, her quote was, if women can just get on side with each other, like, the men won't be a problem.
It's true,
And I'm like,
yeah.
it's so true.
It
like,
is true. And that is another facet of patriarchy, like to turn us against each other. Which is another reason why, like, in my platform specifically, I've had women be very awful to me. I've had women be very bigoted, very racist to me, like say really terrible shit to me. And I've held them accountable, but not in the same way that I make fun of men. I don't make fun of women the same way I make fun of men. And the reason for that is very intentional. I could very well do that. I don't. And the reason being because I feel like that's a facet of patriarchy. It's to get us to attack each other's looks, to attack things that we can't change, to do that to each other. And it's like while we're squabbling amongst ourselves, they get further ahead. So I'm not going to feed into that narrative. But at the same time, I'm not going to let you slow down my ship either. So I can't save you. but I'm not going to ether you like I do them.
Yep.
I'm just going to leave you, and you good luck with that. That's why I'm always like, yeah, go over to them and see if they treat you as an equal, because
Yes,
the reality is they see us both the same.
Well, that's where like cool girl persona and pick me girls, that's
Totally.
where it comes from, is this internalized misogyny and patriarchy of like, this is what men want me to be. I'm going to alienate women around me to be like that. And this like cool girl persona, you hit on in your book exactly what I think of, which is the monologue in Gone Girl.
Gone Girl? Yeah.
Yes, where she's just talking about how she just like turned herself upside down, and like these women it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's crazy when you watch it back through that lens, especially. It's like, damn, she's hilarious for that. When I rewatched Gone Girl, I'm like, she's hilarious. She went to that length because she said, "You're gonna fuck a 22-year-old on me? I'm gonna frame you for murder."
Right.
She's so real for that. She's so me. Rosamund Pike is so me. But yeah, it's exactly right. Like in that monologue, she says like the craziest thing about all of this is that this woman doesn't exist. Like the woman that they conjure. And it's like we're chasing ghosts at that point. Like we're chasing this ideal that if I become that girl, then I'll be safe from harm. And that's just not how it works. Like if I become the perfect girl for every man ever, then I'll never have to suffer at the hands of oppression. That's not true.
Not true.
That's not true at all.
How do we stop competing with each other?
I mean, I don't know the answer to that, but first of all, go to
That's a
therapy.
big
I
question.
highly encourage people to go to therapy.
Yeah.
If you can and you want to, I highly encourage. I think more than anything, it's just focusing on you, like focusing on what makes you uniquely yourself. I think it's getting rid of the male gaze entirely, like the way you look at things, the way you look at yourself. I think the biggest key, honestly, is just unpacking all of your internalized biases. That's homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, like the big ones, racism, also things like fat phobia, ableism. Like when you unpack all of that shit, it's kind of scary when you do it because you think to yourself, like when I was going through that phase and I was unpacking a lot of shit and I first started going to therapy, I started thinking about my career aspirations when I was in college. Like I was really thinking, I was like, if I get to the center of this and I find out I was only doing that for men, I'm going to kill myself. Like, I was like, no way, I can't do that. I can't do that. Like if I found out the only reason I wanted to work in football was because I wanted to impress men. Oh my God, horror.
That's actually what I was asking you earlier.
Yeah, I was like, that's actually what Ashley meant. And you're like, my dad played in the NFL. Okay, relax, guys.
That's why I was like, oh my God. Like when I was unpacking that, like really unpacking it, it's horrifying. Cause then you start to think like the male gaze is so perverse. It can go to things like how you talk, how you walk, how you dress, how you do your hair, how you do your makeup, how you do your nails, what you like, what you listen to, what you watch on the TV, what you read. Like all of that is so perversely affected by the patriarchy and by what men like and what men deem popular and men think are cool, what girls like, whatever. So I think when you unpack that for real, there is no competition amongst women. Like you don't feel it at all because there's nothing to compete for. There's no man at the end of the rainbow. There's no like, oh, the grand prize for hating all women is I get a man.
Right.
Also, some fucking prize. And trade in my girls for that.
I'd like to see what that man looks like.
Oh, God, no.
I mean, if you were a woman listening to this and you catch yourself writing a hate comment or a DM to another woman who's just living, who isn't Marjorie Taylor Greene, and like, you know, it's like a woman who's just cooking or doing whatever, you know, ask yourself why you're triggered and just start there.
Absolutely.
You know, like we see these messages come in and we have it pretty good. We love our audience. Oh my God, they're amazing. But the people creep in, and especially when something goes viral, forget it. It's over. You're like, who are you people?
Right.
But it's just like, there's part of it's like mentally ill. And you're like, I want you to figure this out. I'd like, as a woman to woman, I would love you not to act like this.
Yeah, like empathy. And that's our empathy speaking when we're like, that's really sad. Like, that's really terrible. Like, that you feel like you have to do this in order to get attention. I've written to women before, like, and when they've written really awful comments to me, I'm like, I've written back to her, to girls before where I've been like, I hope he saw this. Whoever you're hoping sees this comment, I hope he sees it. And I hope you get a text back, girl. I hope you get that. I hope he reaches out.
Girl, I hope your day is going all right.
I hope you got it. I hope you got it, girl. Like, I'm rooting for you. You see, I'm still rooting for you, even though you're not rooting for me. Shit. But that's how much I love women.
Right.
But you're right, though, about that. I think that's a great point. I've talked about that before, too. Sometimes envy and jealousy and they're they're being affected by patriarchy. It's all tied together, unfortunately. But I think a lot of times when we're honest with ourselves about why we feel the way we do about women. So like if women are existing even online or even in your own personal life, like there's women, and I know we've all had this when we're like, I don't know, I don't really like her. but you have no real reason to not like her. I think that feeling is very common in girlhood, right? Sisterhood. And I think what's important is to stop that thought in its tracks and ask yourself, why don't I like her?
Yep. Oh,
Do I not like her for a valid reason,
Yep.
or do I not like her because I'm a hater? And I think if you admit I'm being a hater,
Yeah.
sometimes if you say it out loud, like you have the thought and you're like, that's me being a hater, I'm being a hater. When you diagnose it like that, it stops coming because you're like,
Yeah.
I have no reason to feel that way, but I'm feeling that way. Why? Probably because the world has conditioned me to not like women who dress a certain way, talk a certain way, act a certain way. And that's not how I feel. That's conditioning. I think when you start, like, it sounds so archaic and so childish, but like when you do it out loud, I think it helps a lot.
And if you are a hater, keep it to yourself or the
Right.
group chat.
Right. They won't, but we'll be able to tell the
That's
difference.
the like difference of like a stable person and unstable person.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
I can hate somebody and I'm just going to tell you about it. And I'm going to talk my shit.
Yeah, well, and
I'm
then
not in their comments.
And when you have good friends, like good sound walls, when you bounce shit off them, sometimes they're like, I don't know. And then you're like, I'm being a hater.
It
I'm being
really
a hater.
hurts my feelings when I say something to Ashley like once a year, and she's like, I don't really feel like that. I'm like, I feel so attacked by you right now.
So you're calling me a fucking pick me. Okay.
we'll check each other on that.
That's a good thing.
Like a couple times a year, and it
It's
really
very
hurts
rare.
my feelings. I'm like, I thought we were exactly the same all the time. Okay, what
I know
happened
sometimes
here?
my sister and I were talking about something the other. I forget. I brought something up, and she goes, "Oh no, I'm being a hater. I'm being a hater."
Yeah.
And I started laughing, and she's like, "I'm being a hater. I know I'm being a hater, but I'm in a bad mood, so I'm gonna be a hater." And we were laughing, and then we worked through it. And I think like that's sisterhood. Like it's truly
Yes.
like bouncing it off each other, and then you're like, "Am I being nuts?" And then your girl's like, "Yeah." And you're
love
like, "Okay,
that.
period."
Just
Yeah.
acknowledging you're just hating.
Yeah,
'Cause it's fun.
And when you do it and you say it out loud,
Sometimes.
it's kind of like when you say things out loud and you're like, I sound real dumb when I say that. Okay, good thing I said it out loud. Now I'm never going to think it again. Like, it's checking yourself. It's accountability. I think feeling those feelings is human. I think the way you act on
Yes.
them determines whether or
Yes.
not you're a good person.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And
Absolutely.
listen, it's fine for you to think what somebody's got going on is stupid. I think plenty of people have stuff that's going on is
It's
stupid.
very human.
And I have to also ask myself, like, is this jealousy? Like,
Yeah,
telling
absolutely.
yourself I'm not jealous is not going to make you less jealous. And,
Absolutely.
you know, you meet girls that are just like not that friendly, not that nice, and I'm just like, you seem a little insecure.
Yeah,
a little
and then you feel
jealous.
bad for them, and then you send them on their way, right? I feel like there's a difference between jealousy and envy. Like, I think jealousy, there's something really malicious inside of it. Like, it's like I want that, and you shouldn't have it. I
Yep.
should have it. Envy, I think, is like, damn, that looks awesome. I wish I had that too. And I think when you kind of shift your perspective on how you look at stuff, like if it's something like, I wish I had that, when you look at it from more of an envious perspective, it's more inspirational and aspirational than
So go get that.
jealousy. Yeah, and jealousy is more deep rooted in evil. It's like it's a very like sinister feeling that can grow and manifest. And I think that is what makes people really ugly. Like it's jealousy, sinister type energy.
Yes, and most people that you feel like this about don't need to be in your life. If you are following somebody on the
Absolutely,
internet
yeah.
and they make you feel a certain way, unfollow them. They will disappear.
They will cease to exist.
Nothing
Yeah.
feels better. And then if you can't unfollow them, just mute them.
Yeah.
There's definitely been people in my life I've muted where I think they have like so much. For me, it's not looks. It's like career wise where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I want that so bad. I want like, you know, and if you have to mute somebody for a little bit, that's fine too.
And that's you self-correcting, right? So you're
Yeah.
like, you're taking care of yourself, but you're not attacking anyone. You're not like
God, no.
unjustly attacking anyone. You're just kind of being human. It's normal.
I love the difference between jealousy and envy. You're so right. It's like, I don't want you to have that because
Yeah.
I want that and there's not enough to go around. And that's
Absolutely.
a scarcity mindset and women.
Exactly.
But the envy can guide you.
Right.
And like, why do I feel this way? Let me do what I can do
And
to
it can
get
inspire
that.
you to try.
If
You're like,
she has
actually,
it, I can have it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Okay, there's this chapter of the book I loved. It's one of my favorite chapters in the book, and you call it the fallacy of the leftover women. Can we talk about that theory and what that
Sure.
term comes from? And
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely. I actually heard that term from one of my best friends from college, who's still my friend to this day. Her name's Christina Yen. Shout out Tina.
Shout out to Christina.
But she's Chinese, and she was telling me there is a term in China where they talk about leftover women. And they're women after 30 who are not married or don't have children. And I was like, 30? That's young. Me turning 30. I'm like, that's so young. What are you talking about?
it is
And so I like to talk about it in the book because I think it's something that can transcend culture, obviously, because patriarchy is in every culture ever, unfortunately. And so it speaks to this idea that women have to settle so that they're not left over. So they're not like alone. Like they have to make peace with anything really because it's like, well, you don't want to be left out. And so I like to tell people like that I made peace with dying alone, right? A long time ago. Like dying alone is so dramatic because I like to differentiate between alone and lonely, right? Because I feel like feelings of loneliness are very human, whereas whether or not you're truly alone is subjective. It depends on your situation. And I think when I realized, I was like, I'm not actually alone. I'm just lonely. Like I yearn for companionship. I think that's a very human feeling. When I was still single, and this was right before I started dating my now fiance, but I made peace with living life unpartnered and being a leftover woman, because in my head, I was thinking like, I would rather live a beautiful, successful, amazing life filled with people who love me, care about me, and want to see me succeed than just settle for what's just okay in terms of events, just so I don't have to be alone, just so I don't have to be single. It's kind of like when you're in high school and you're like, oh, it's so lame to go to prom by yourself, right? Like, oh, I can't go by myself. I have to go with a date. And then you end up going with someone you fucking hate,
Right.
which I did 2 years in a row.
Right.
So it's like, it wasn't even worth it. Like, and one of them was the worst date I've ever had in my entire life. So I thought to myself, I wish I went alone. I wish I went alone. I wish I went with my friends. And I feel like that's a really good metaphor for life. It's like being a leftover woman is a fallacy. It's not a real thing. It's something that the patriarchy has created and devised to basically manipulate you into settling, because instead of men getting better, they'd rather you come down a little bit more. They're like, God, come and meet me where I'm at. I don't want to go up there. It's too high.
And would they? I mean, I've been served a lot of TikToks recently, like the male epidemic, the male loneliness epidemic, and women
God,
to settle and lower
all they do is complain about
lower
everything.
their standards. And I think we've been sold this idea at a certain age you have to settle or be alone, and like those aren't the only two routes. I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm almost 40. I think people probably have thoughts about me being single at this age. I feel great.
Yeah.
I sometimes just sit alone at my house and look around the walls and think, you are such a bad bitch for buying this. And my options are not settle or be alone, because I'm never lonely. And I've built a life where I'm not lonely. And yeah, I love a partner that like fits into all this and fucks me really well and makes me laugh. But like, I don't subscribe to that. So that's not me.
Absolutely.
But I think we've sold people this idea that you must settle at a certain age, and I'm not buying it.
And I think it's good to find role models. Like
Totally.
I think Tracee Ellis Ross is like this shining example.
Love her.
I just listened to her whole interview with Michelle Obama and her brother. They host a podcast together. And it's just like, find people like that to look up to.
Yeah. And does she look unhappy?
She's killing it. And she's like, this is so much better than being with the
Are
wrong
you kidding?
person.
Yeah. What the
Being
fuck?
with the wrong person for a woman ruins your life. I
Yeah,
mean, it shortens
takes
your
everything
life
from you.
expectancy.
Yeah.
It causes you to like mental instability. I mean, it's just so much better to not settle and be with your friends and have your hobbies and your pets and do all that shit.
And be yourself and live your life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we've also been sold this idea that like you get into a relationship and then like life's just over. Being in a relationship's hard.
Ooh, shit, you're telling me.
It's really hard to compromise with another person and figure out their
agree.
schedule and fit them into your life. And I don't have to do that any days of my life.
Agree. Yeah.
And I love it. There's a lot of good things about being by yourself.
Absolutely.
I think we're like, we got in a relationship, it's finished. I finished all the tasks. And it's like, no, that's really hard too.
Now you
So,
got to
like,
be in that relationship.
you got to be with somebody you actually
and they're
want to do
hard.
those
Yeah.
things
Relationships
for.
worth having are hard work. Like that's what they are. And I feel like the male loneliness epidemic thing, I've known about that for a while. I was actually kind of shocked to see it circulating recently, because I was like,
blown up.
I was like, I thought we all collectively agree we didn't give a fuck. Was that just me? My bad. So I made my choice about that a while ago. But what makes me laugh about that is very true. The reason why it's happening is because women are like, oh, I don't need you to get a bank account. Yeah, fuck off. Like women don't need men for anything, not even to procreate anymore. Women are buying compounds and cohabitating with their best friends. They're literally buying duplexes and moving their friends in next door, and they're having children and raising them as like a family, right? Like just friends, partnership, whatever. And I was actually going to make a TikTok about this, so this is perfect. But have y'all watched Love on the Spectrum?
Yeah.
The most recent season?
No, I'm started. I'm not fully
We have
through
a whole
it.
list.
The most
I know
recent
it's on my
season's
list.
really good. What I noticed about that show is that it's very clear to me that misogyny is taught. It's taught at home. It's what you sociologically absorb, because all of the men on that show that are either their friends or they're dating, right, to find love, when they talk about likes and interest, like who they're attracted to, like who they're trying to find in a partner, the things they say are like, do they like the same things I like? Are they nice, right? Do they laugh at my jokes? Notice how none of it has to do with looks. I think at the very most, it's like hair color. And even then they're like, I don't know, I could do a blonde, who knows?
That one clip was
One guy that doesn't.
yeah.
But 99% of the time, it's like, but do you like the train? Like, at least like the train. I love the train, right? They don't give a fuck, right? They're not factoring that because the only thing that matters is what's inside to them. And there's even a part in the new season where they're talking to Perry who I love. And she loves the train, right? That's her whole thing. And she has like friends who are men, who are straight, who are in her little rail fanway group. And they're talking like, oh, did anyone want to date her when you joined the group? And he said, oh yeah, all of us did, because she's so awesome. She loves the train.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, what happened? And she goes, well, she told me she likes girls more. So then I was like, okay, well then we'll just be friends. Have you ever heard a straight man say that in your fucking life? Have you ever heard a straight man say that in your fucking life? Never.
Mind
never.
blown.
Never in a million fucking years. Never. I have never in my life heard a man say that.
Yeah.
Like very convicted and honest. Like he was just like, yeah, so I just figured we'll just stay friends. Never in a million years have I ever heard that. And it's truly because they see them as people. They see women as humans who are equal to them. And they're like, the only thing that matters to me is if we like the same things. And you don't interrupt me when I talk. That's all I care about. Right. And so I think that's a perfect example of how like, it's almost as if it doesn't fucking matter what you look like. This male loneliness epidemic thing is being fueled by red pill men who say that women only like men who are over 6 feet and have a lot of muscles and have a lot of money and all this fucking bullshit, which every time they say that, I'm like, well, clearly you have none of those things. So that's a skill issue. But past that, like, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think you're just awful and women aren't willing to eat it anymore. And that's why you're lonely.
And we have had Scott Galloway, who speaks about this a lot. We've had him on the show, and our audience really loved the episode because I feel like he's trying to make men be better. And he's like one of the few, he talks about the male loneliness epidemic in facts and that this is how men are feeling. I'm just sharing with you guys. I'm not sympathizing with them, but
he's
like,
also not saying women should fix it.
No, he's he really like lifts women up, but I like that he's just like, guys, get your shit together.
Yeah,
like
it's like all internal. You could fix that.
Get off your phone, get off Reddit. Like when he was on our podcast, he was like, I coach men into like being better men.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we need more of that. I mean, let them do that on their own.
Well, do you see how like a good parallel to that too is like when men and women have very tumultuous breakups, right? Women are always like, what could I have done better? Like, what did he not like in me? What did he not see in me? What do men fucking say? In that red pill
She's
bullshit.
a bitch.
Yeah, what are they saying? They're saying, oh, she doesn't want to be with me. She doesn't like me because of this.
She must be crazy.
Yeah, do you see how none of that has to do with you?
Yes.
Women are constantly over policing. Like they're like, I must have been too much. I must have asked for too much. I must have done this. And men on the other end of it are going, yeah, she sucked. Yeah, she did this. Yeah, she did that. None of it is self-reflection.
No.
All of it is projection.
Totally.
So that's the fucking problem. It's almost like you could fix it, but you won't because you want women to do it. Like it's always comes back to women. Women need to fix it. Women need to make sure I'm not alone. Women need to make sure I feel handsome. Women need to. Oh God, if it's not, add it to my list of shit I have to do for you guys.
Do you remember years ago? So this is somebody I used to date, and we just became friends. And then he and I were speaking about somebody he had been dating, and she didn't want to date him anymore. And he kept saying to me, like, I think something's wrong. I think she needs therapy. I think she's gonna regret this, and I think she needs help. And I was like, you know that I dated you, right? Like, you know, I can tell you why she doesn't want to be with you. I don't think she's mentally
you don't need a
ill.
doctor. I can tell you.
She's not suffering from some
This is
mental
on you.
illness.
Yeah.
And you know what I think is so fascinating about the male loneliness epidemic? There will never be a phrase, the female loneliness epidemic.
Oh no, that's called leftover women. That's what it is.
That's
They're
what
like,
it's called.
That's true.
We coin it in a bad way, but women who are single are going to go off. They're going to make friend groups. They're going to travel. They're going to find hobbies and interests. They're going to get a better body, a better job, more money. Like women just rise up.
The glow up is
men.
crazy afterwards.
I feel like if they told us there was an epidemic, we'd be like, I can't be clear enough. We're fine. This is great.
Who said
We're
that?
doing
Where'd you
great.
get that? What's your source?
Well, because there is headlines like that. Women are staying single longer, getting married later, not having kids, crazy.
You know what they call
cat
them?
ladies
Cat
stuff.
ladies.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
And
what I
it's
said. They call us cat ladies, and they say these lonely poor
Like
girl.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they call her
Childless cat lady.
Yeah, that sounds like a badge of honor to me.
I've been single
Yeah.
forever. I'm the least lonely person I've ever met.
Yeah.
Most women are, and one thing I always say about marginalized people in general, like one thing we know how to do is fucking build community. Like build community and build community fast. Like there's just something to be said about the way women love. Like the way women love platonically, romantically, familially, all of it. They love to a degree that men could never understand. They could never. They don't even know their friends' birthdays. Get the fuck out of here. I was like, I know my friends' preferences of coffee, taste, flavor, candy, fucking you name it, bitch. I know it about my girls. Men are like, oh yeah, I don't know. I think his birthday's like June. Get the fuck out of here.
I want to say there are exceptions to the rule. If I'm sure you found one. I'm like thinking about my fiance. I just feel really lucky. I found like
Me
a good
too.
one.
Oh, yeah, me
he probably
too.
knows his friends' birthdays more than I do.
Yeah, my man. Yeah,
thoughtful
same.
and
That's what I'm
loving
saying.
and-
I'm saying men are lonely not just because of romance. It's community. Like they don't have any because they're all about this conquering mindset. It's all this like, I'm the only one. It's just me. You know how men got really into those lion memes and they were like, the lone lion doesn't worry about what sheep think. What the fuck are you talking about? Get a job. Like, it's like, go make a friend.
What happened to the pack?
Like,
Are we supposed to be in a wolf pack?
Yeah, it was wolves for a while. Then it was lions.
Stop being an incel.
It's like, I think about that joke where it's like, it was like a video of men moshing. You know, men like to mosh at certain things. And it says like men created moshing just so they could touch each other, like in a way that makes them feel seen. Like they want to hug so bad. That's what I think about the dap. When they dap each other up, I'm like, you guys want to hug so bad, but you won't. But that's crazy.
Sometimes I think the younger generations are getting there.
So I agree with you.
I hope so.
I see some hope.
I don't
men hugging a lot more these days.
Yeah,
I
they
hope
kissing
so.
each other on the mouth.
Do they have a tote bag? I bet they do. Those are always nice guys.
Nice guy.
Just kidding.
Kidding. I'm not a male apologist, certainly in any way, but like I don't think that men are raised to value the characteristics you're talking about. And I do think hopefully it's getting better.
Inverse, yeah.
But like I say this all the time. Like I was raised to like go make my own money and value myself and have a job and go out into the world and like be my own person. And at the same time, we did not teach men to value women who do this. And we did not teach them to value things like sharing and emotions. And I do think
vulnerability.
Yes.
But do you see how we're intellectualizing and empathizing that? They don't do that for us, do they? Like that's my point right there. Is like, even in our phase where we're recognizing there is a stark difference, that is true. That's the irony of it all. Patriarchy hurts all of us. It doesn't just hurt women. It hurts men too. The irony is if you got with me, if you stood beside me, we could kill this shit all together and all of us would be happy. We'd all be free at that point. Because if one person's not free, none of us are. And that's the whole fucking point. It's like the men who are counteractive to this movement of understanding how harmful patriarchy is, they're not just hurting women and others. They're hurting themselves too. They're constricting themselves and they're handicapping themselves. And it's awful and it's terrible. And I do think there are some straight men, there's very few that I agree should have a podcast. There are a couple that I'm okay with. I've given a slight probationary period pass.
I want to know who these people are.
I forget his name. He's on TikTok though.
You're like, they don't.
You see how there's so few? Yeah, there's so fucking few. I don't even know their names. I'll have to think of it.
Not worth remembering their
I'll
name,
think of it in post. But there are a couple men who I know do podcasts where they solely talk about feelings and they want to talk to other men about feelings and what it means to feel and what it means to communicate and what it means to address problems. That's why I always encourage men to go to fucking therapy. Go to therapy and fix it. If you hate your life and you hate the outcomes in it, you have the tools to fix it. Like you have the tools to do it. The difference is they always blame women. Women are like, okay, I blame myself most times, but other times I'm going to try and fix it or find community. They just find someone else to blame. That's the biggest difference between us, I think. But yeah, it's all right though. Because the few that are good are going to make it by, and that's all that matters. And the rest of them are going to die out.
That's a great place to end it. Perfect. On hope.
Drew, this was so fun.
Yeah, this was great.
Really fun.
I really loved your book. I really encourage people to buy it, read it,
Thank you
consume your
guys.
content in general. But
Thank you for having me.
You really don't hold back, and you should be really proud of yourself because I think a lot of people do. Because I think it's scary to speak out for any marginalized group because you do get attacked on the internet.
Yeah.
You are so loud about it. So and your
that's
book
the
is called
book.
Loud.
Yeah.
So just congrats to you. You're really doing some great work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
Appreciate
And tell
y'all.
everybody where they can find you. I mean,
Yes.
they probably already know, but you know, shout out your handles.
Oh,
and
yes.
everything.
You can find me at Drew Afualo on literally everything. And then I have 2 shows. I have the comment section which is Spotify exclusive. And then I also have a show with my sister called 2 Idiot Girls. And yeah, you can find me everywhere. I'm Poison Ivy. They haven't stopped itching in years. It's a bummer.
Yes, and you guys can get the book wherever you get your books. And you can find us at girlsgottaeat.com, Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I'm Ash Hess. Rayna is Rayna.Greenberg. Subscribe on YouTube. Share this episode with a friend. Get the book. And we will see you guys Thursday.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.